happening? Oops, and now my camera has swiveled around a bit. There we are. He's coming.
Hi.
Hey, we've got Thomas. We're getting a bit nervous there.
Me too. I was like, I can see you trying to reconnect and it's just not responding. So
okay, we've got Thomas here. This is a great moment. So I'm in West London. Thomas is on the other side of London, the cool side. I'm in the more residential, boring side, in cool Shoreditch. Thomas, how did you get to your office, your studio today?
yeah, so normally I cycle in, so I'm kind of very blessed because I can leave home, cycle across Tower Bridge, and literally get my bicycle into my workshop and close the doors, and that's it. And that's how it's been for the last 12 years. So I was preparing for this.
Yeah, you were the first self-isolator in all of this.
Yeah.
So Thomas, I was just giving a little bit of background about the fact your dad's Polish diplomat, brought up in Austria, educated at Central St. Martin's and the Royal College of Art. And in fact, I think the first thing you're going to show us is something that sprung from when you were actually still studying. And you're going to show us the creative process of one of your key pieces. Is that right?
That's right. So when I was at the Royal College of Art, I was always very passionate with to use leather, and I already started doing that in St. Martin's. And then at the RCA, I really kind of I was predominantly into men's jewelry until today. This is my kind of main passion, and so I kind of created this. It's called the Chesterfield bangle, but it's basically using a technique which is using upholstery to upholster the kind of you know, sitons and chairs.
Yeah, there's button back chairs that very Victorian. Yeah.
So the collection was called The Hero of Our Time. The wardrobe for Pechorin, who was the main actor, the main character in this novel by Lermontov. And so I made them this kind of really flamboyant collection, lovely colors of leather with diamonds. And I thought, well, the quintessential English kind of masculine pattern or form is the Chesterfield. So I'll just show quickly the Chesterfield, just so people understand.
Okay, let's have a look. Yeah.
What it is. But this is the kind of bangle here. That's the end product. This is what really kind of is the result of quilting leather and studying it with diamonds in this case.
And this is a piece of men's jewelry. Is that right, Thomas?
This was, yes. You see, like in 2006 when I graduated, I was very skinny and androgynous. So I kind of this was for me with the equivalent to kind of your kind of cool men's cuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe today it's the colors maybe are more suitable for women, but that's why I developed very quickly a Chesterfield belt buckle.
Okay.
And that's the same kind of technique, but this is more of a kind of practical use of maybe jewels, because I believe men always like functionality with their jewelry. So this is
practical jewelry, Thomas. I don't know if anyone's going to buy that. So, I mean, something that's interesting about you as well is that you are a designer, an artist in the same way, but you also do work at the bench. So your jewelry is all made in this workshop in Shoreditch. So you can actually show us the process, can't you?
Yes. So again, this is the kind of backplate. So I like to use nowadays, since the RCA times, I really like to use the computer aided kind of software.
Okay.
But I always think that you can't just rely on that. You need to hand finish it. Otherwise, it just looks like it's been computer generated. But here, this is a perfect example. This is your kind of backplate, the kind of internal part for the Chesterfield, and then this is the frame.
And what are those made out of?
This is actually grown on the 3D printers, and they are in resin. And this actually needs to be polished off in the resin, so it's really smooth. And then once it's finished in the resin, I make a cast of it, and this is the kind of end result. You can see here, because I already polished the resin, this surface is perfect. So it just needs a little bit of a touch up on the polishing machine.
Okay.
And you need to take off the sprues, but really this is then the end result. This one here needs a little bit of refurbishment. The leather was I've been wearing it too many times, and I just need to kind of skin it off and remake it. But that's the beauty of leather. It's like metal. You can take it off, you can repolish it and put it back on, and you know.
Yeah, it's a noble material, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's really like one of my my favorite materials with, apart from gold, maybe.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, seeing you here in your studio, your workshop, Thomas, just reminds me that the fact that people like you are involved in the process of creation right from the start, and that these jewels are very much made one by one, and that is quite a unique process and very different from jewelry that is manufactured in a mass way. So I think this is something that makes your work quite unique.
Yeah, I mean, there's two sides to my business. There's the side where I'm kind of gonna be hands-on. All the commissions are, done throughout this workshop, or we have our setters in Bond Street or in Hatton Garden. And then there's other side where there's a lot of stone cutting, obviously that we can't do in-house. So that is kind of comes to us already delivered. I'll show you some pieces there. But what I love the most about the whole process is actually getting the pieces and the forms and the shape looking the way they look. And then I'm happy to kind of, work with craftsmen who then kind of makes the repeated orders.
Okay,
Because,
so and you're going to show us some of your most iconic pieces.
So let's walk to the other room. I will just quickly show you around. This is the kind of workshop with all the materials. And
I'm so glad you tidied up, Thomas.
Yep, that's the curse of an artist who relies on his assistant.
Oh, but, no one's got assistants today, Thomas.
Well, assistant, i.e. my sales staff.
Yeah.
But let me just change the location here, and this is basically where I am at my studio.
Yeah, Thomas is in Shoreditch, which for those of you who don't live in London is in the east part of London, slightly north of the city, and it is the trendy place. It's where design happens, creativity happens, fashion's there, jewellery's there. And Thomas is now set up to show us some of his pieces.
So then here we've got, for example, these are part of my collection, which I launched in 2014, is the Blade Runner ring, where you can see here the amethyst, tanzanites, iolites, blue topaz, emeralds.
Wow, can you bring it a bit closer, Thomas, just so we can really see the color? Wow, and tell us why it's called Blade Runner.
So the Blade Runner is, the collection was based around Blade Runner, the Ridley Scott's 1983 or 84, I believe, movie. And I tried to kind of capture the neon lights of the movie. And Ridley Scott used a lot of Art Deco patterns on his facades and then covered them with the neon lights. So it kind of created this kind of 80s futurism.
Wow, everyone's saying they love that ring. So that ring, can you show it to us once more, Thomas? Because it is just how you've, that's a channel setting, isn't it?
That's right. That's the channel setting. I'm trying to see if I can focus the camera a little bit better.
Yeah, but that's great because then it gives that sort of solid line of color, doesn't it? Very fluid and very modern looking, beautiful.
So what I always said was that I created this highway for the color to travel, and I think the baguette in 2014 is not that popular. And I also tried to always do something different. So I didn't want to have any interruption in the setting. So basically, you can really see the color just flowing from stone to stone.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, absolutely lovely. Yeah.
Which is in blue.
Oh, let's have a look at that one. Yeah, if you just hold that there for a minute so we can see. So you've graduated sapphires into those topazes.
So there are sapphires, iolites, blue topaz, and London blue topaz.
Marine, maybe?
Well, actually, I didn't use any aqua, but the color palette of an aqua would also suit it. So you
see them both together. Look at that. So that's so interesting. I think that when you've got a strong design, it can work in lots of different colorways, can't it? It's not just limited to the initial format that you created. Wow.
Yeah,
beautiful, Thomas. Thank you.
So those are like the kind of part of the electric light collection, what I call, and there's a pair of earrings here.
Okay, someone's just asked, is that invisible setting? It's no. Channel setting, right?
This is actually channel setting. I show you a piece of invisible setting. So these here are earrings, which this part here sits on the top of the ear. Like this.
Suits you, Thomas.
Thank you very much. It is my night out. Sorted. Friday coming. I am in Shoreditch. I just don't think any clubs and bars are open.
Wow, I love the movement in that as well.
So
Yeah.
and then I kind of upgraded the whole kind of design, and I made it even more. There's even more movement here. And someone asked about channel setting, actually invisible setting. So the invisible setting is here on the studded sapphires.
We're not quite getting the focus. Let's see that
Yes,
again. It's difficult, isn't it?
I'm too close. But here on the studded sapphires, you can see that there's maybe in total 5 stones, but there is no metal showing. So what happens here is there's a little cut underneath the stone, and all the stones are held from the inside. And that's what is a classic kind of invisible setting.
Two sophisticated techniques that really allow the color of the stone to shine through, don't they?
Exactly. Here there's a bangle, for example. And
we can't see that, Thomas, a bit higher. Yeah. Yeah,
again,
that's lovely.
hard to focus. There you go. You can see that the whole bar in the middle has no metal showing. And you know, of course, if you could find a long sapphire, which you could set in there, you could do the same technique, but also that would bring the price up immensely. So, this is like a spring mechanism. So you've got a memory wire inside, and you just open it.
Okay, so just to interrupt, Thomas, someone's asked, is this on our website, the Jewelry Editor? Yes. Well, you read our minds. So what we've done is if you click on the link in the bio, it'll link to an article about Thomas, and it also has all of these products there, so you can see them there. So yes, it is. So price range, what's your price range?
So my price range starts from £2,000 up to predominantly £10,000, but all the pieces that we've been showing at the moment were between £3,000 and £6,000.
Okay, great.
So, and then, you know, this is a beautiful ring also from the same collection. It's called the Cocktail Ring from the Electric Knight. And this has a beautiful London blue topaz. Again, you can see the baguette setting all around the stones.
Can you bring it a little bit closer so we can see that in more detail?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if the camera...
Yeah, tilt it. That's it. That's it. Beautiful. Yeah, that's good. That's really nice.
A little bit out of focus. I'm wondering how
it's difficult. And this is a ring that you can wear on its own or with another one, and they look like they're one ring, right?
That's right. I've got actually an image of it somewhere, but basically this here, well, luckily I've got girl hands, so you can see.
Oh, that's good. We can really see that. Wow. Okay, can you pull back a bit, someone's saying?
Pull back, yeah.
Is that better? Yeah? Oh, that looks great. Yeah, lovely.
So yeah, this is part of, like you said, this is a ring where I'm just looking if I can find the ring. I have one, but in a different color. But here, basically, when you wear this one here and you've got this one next to it, the patterns kind of follow through.
And it looks like one ring when your hands are together, right?
Let me just put it on. I think it looks better when it's worn, because then you can actually see. The only thing is that I would have, you see here?
Yeah. So and if you open your fingers, they're rings in their own right, but then you close it and you've got a across the hand ring.
Yes. So I think, being trained as a designer and a jeweler as well, I make sure that the wearability of the pieces is just as important as the design. So I didn't want to make a knuckle duster. I mean, I know they're very popular, but I thought this was a little bit kind of more versatile. So you can A, wear them together. B, you can just choose the ring you want to wear for the day. I know.
Sorry to interrupt. Somebody has asked what the price of that is.
So the collective price of that, I think this one here, the little one in blue, is just under 2,000, and this one here in the bigger version, that's just under 3,000. But again, these are available on the website, and I think they're also on your website.
They are indeed. And tell me, just remind us what that stone in the middle is. Somebody's asked again.
So that's a London blue topaz surrounded by sapphires and iolites, tanzanites, and London baby blue topaz. So I tried to kind of use a different kind of range of different colors that is available in stone. So, not smother it only with sapphires or just the same kind of stone, because then the opacity of the stone makes it look a little bit flat. So if you bring in different stones into the piece, then you really kind of create different volume, different levels. And talking about different volume and levels, once I finished doing the Electric Knight collection, I moved into a collection called Stellar. And Stellar is based on Frank Stellar.
Can I just ask a question? Somebody's asking what metal. So I think the answer is white gold. Or...
White gold, 18 karat, or white rose. My favorite is rose gold. And I also do them in yellow gold. and under request in platinum.
Right. And somebody's asking, are you able to ship internationally at the moment?
Yes. Yes.
That's
Actually,
yes.
the beauty of being a small business that, as you can see, we're still operational.
Still operational, one-man band. That's the beauty of it, isn't it? Like, you know.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, you know, just quickly back to the kind of mood board. I'll just show you here the kind of mood board of the Frank Stella. I don't know if you see it up there.
Yeah, maybe you want to tell people a little bit about Frank Stella and how he's inspired you.
So Frank Stella, as you can see, it has very geometric kind of patterns, and this is my kind of interpretation of them.
He's an American artist.
In 1970s.
Yeah, living in the 70s.
Famous for those kind of huge murals and big paintings. And I kind of used him as a springboard, really, to kind of create the next chapter of my collection, from Electric Knight into Stellar.
Mm-hmm.
Because Frank Stella, to me, was painting quite free, and to me was like a very utopian kind of atmosphere. The colors of Stella, with an A on the end of my collection, are very colorful. That's coming into the light. So basically, you got pink opals, rubies, white diamonds, hematites, and again, this takes off. You can take that sleeve off, and then you can wear it together.
Like yeah, and how much is that, Thomas? Because someone's bound to ask.
So this is 6,000.
6,000, okay.
With diamonds, rubies, and pink opal.
Wow, and you were going to show us some sketches. Is this the moment?
Oh, why not? I can show you some sketches here.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna quickly show you. This is the newest sketch I am working. Actually, I'll show you the sketch for that ring first.
Okay, yeah, that's a nice follow through. Okay.
So this is the sketch for the Electric Knight, which I just showed you, which belonged on the pinky.
Is that a watercolor?
That's actually a line drawing. This is a watercolor here.
Okay.
Here, this is a pair of earring studs, which have some rubies and white diamonds kind of tension set. This is my kind of famous, I call it the Halo Stellar ring with a big emerald. This is a little ring I did in the past for engagement ring.
Okay, Thomas, while you're there, come on, be modest. Just pan up a bit and show us your awards.
Oh, okay.
Thomas won a lot of awards.
So I can't see what I'm showing you guys. So this is
the big crystal ones.
So these are 2 awards I did for the couture. So best debuting artist, and this is best colored gems. I just show you those earrings for those.
I was a judge on the color gem one, Thomas.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Totally impartial.
And then here, this is Editor's Choice for, again, Couture Design Awards in 2016. Gem Awards again. So obviously, I love my gems. Back in the days, I did a competition with the Company of Masters Jewelers in London. And this is the Retail Jewelry Award in 2011.
So basically, lots of awards.
The new designer, my first award, that was in 2006, just graduating.
They're all back to front, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, sorry. That's because I think I should turn them around for you like that.
Yeah. Thomas, somebody's just asked, how much time do you spend on a piece on average from sketch to final jewel?
Well, here's, for example, I'm running this little kind of competition on Instagram where people can send away requests, what stones they love, what themes they like, and then I choose a winner and design around it. So this is the winner. She inspired me. She wanted neon lights or neon signs.
We can't see it, Thomas. Do you mind bringing it up? That's it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and emerald. So I kind of used a lot of emerald, but I also wanted some peridot in there and some aquamarines and tanzanites. And the idea is really that you wear it. This is the kind of design on the computer. I'll show you the rough design. The rough design start off like that.
Okay. So
like a big kind of shawl, which kind of drapes all the way around the back.
Wow.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, lovely. Okay.
And then basically here, this is where I'm starting to color it in.
So yeah, it's we could just a bit higher, Thomas, so we can see it. So I think this brings us quite nicely to the point that a lot of your work is actually bespoke, because I keep on seeing the hornbill popping up.
Oh yeah, so the hornbill, I'll move maybe my camera around like that, so you can see in the back.
Yeah, we can see that perfectly. Yeah, well done. Yeah.
And so the hornbill is again one of my kind of passions for kind of something unusual. with the hornbill, I never did another one in the same color palette. They always are made with their own colors, and once that color sells, I do not make them again. So it was I was part of a charity to raise money for the endangered species of the hornbill, and there was a charity called EcoArt, which was the patron of EcoArt was Prince of Monaco II.
Yeah, Albert. Yeah.
And basically, the pieces traveled around the world trying to kind of fundraise this money for the endangered species. And this
have you got one to show us?
This one here on the back actually sold for $48,000 in Abu Dhabi, and this here is the second one, which is basically in white diamond, black diamonds, ruby eyes, and the white kind of thing you can see here, that's fossilized bone. It's actually mammoth tusk, which I bought from a museum in New York, and I just used the fraction of it, which was the cleanest, so without any kind of broken parts, because fossilized mammoth tusk is nothing but a stone now.
Okay, can you put it on, Thomas, so we can see it?
I will try.
With your lady fingers.
Yeah, but this one actually is tiny.
I mean, we've really got to take a good look at that. Amazing, amazing.
So this is called the hornbill, the courtship of the hornbill. So basically, it's two hornbills. They have this kind of specific kind of head, and again, like I say, they will never be done again in the same kind of way. So my kind of collectible range for those who really desire something bespoke and unique.
Yeah, well, so somebody just mentioned the lily pad ring.
Yeah, the lily pad ring.
So we have to talk about the lily pad ring because we had it on our website about 4 years ago. We couldn't understand why we got this huge spike in traffic, and it was the lily pad ring. And tell people why, apart from it being a beautiful design.
So here it is. That's the lily pad ring. With this slide, unfortunately, let me see if I can get it closer. It's not focusing. Mm-hmm. But basically, this is the lily pad ring. It's part of my first collection ever, and that's a white version one. Let me see if I can put it on my finger. And this is part of the, again, the collection called the Garden of Guneville, the Forgotten English Ponds and Gardens, which are inspired by the kind of nature which lives there. So I know Venus flytraps or the lily pad. And in 2017, I believe, the movie came out, The Beauty and the Beast, and someone branded it on the web as the rose. So
you never said it, but people.
No, I didn't. I mean, obviously it went viral. So suddenly overnight we had like 150 inquiries saying, "Where can I buy this ring?" So and I think till today that wave of interest is still flooding through, and
yeah, well, I just got somebody saying that they proposed with one of your lily pad rings, Thomas.
There you go. I mean, it's fascinating because sometimes I meet the people coming in to my workshop, and we sold the ring from Australia to South Africa. We sold one in California recently. So people really. Some people say that they spend 2 years looking for the maker. So it's not so obvious sometimes who created
yourself, Thomas.
But I love it, and here it's with a band, so there's like a matching band for it. Sorry, it's
very romantic. And while you're just showing us that, I think another interesting point about how you work, Thomas, is that not many jewelers do abstract and figurative as much as you do in that range, because that's well, the hornbill definitely, and the lily pad. Can we see it again, Thomas? Can you get a little bit closer?
The lily pad ring or the horn?
Yeah, I think the lily pad ring, because it's one that has had so much attention.
So there it is. Let me just put it with the two bands.
Oh, he's getting
so this one now. Here, because so we made sure that here, do you see it?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Here it's with two bands. So again, your wedding band and maybe your first year anniversary ring or your baby ring. So collectively creates a beautiful pattern, and because there's 3 separate rings as well, they don't you can take them off, you can wear as many as you want.
Yeah.
And yes, you're right, the figurative part was originally what I started with. I was very much drawn into kind of those kind of forms and shapes. But something in 2014 made me want to shake it up and break away from what was current at that time, which was very figurative. So I broke away, tried to kind of use the baguette stone, which is the kind of rectangular stone, and that's how I kind of created the ranges which you see nowadays.
Right. And have you got any other pieces to show us, Hans? Because I just think
so. That's the X ring.
Hungry to see these.
And that's from the Stellar collection. And again, this is one of my favorites because it's an X ring, but it's three-dimensional.
Definitely, yeah.
And it again uses white diamonds, pink opal, rubies, hematite, and you know, everybody nowadays has an X ring, but this is your three-dimensional graphic geometric ring.
Yeah, that's very original. Yeah.
And then otherwise, I've got what I love actually a lot, and that's basically what I call the three-band ring. Again, has rubies, diamonds, hematite, and it's your kind of what I say everyday kind of piece. You know, you don't need an occasion. Also comes in a larger size, which is my favorite. This one I tend to wear.
Oh, yeah, let's see that. So again, we're going back to the fact that your jewelry it can be very unisex, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, you know. Like, if I don't like it, you know, why should someone else like it? So if I can wear it, even better. I mean, you can see, I love my bling.
Yeah, you're living the story.
There you go.
And have you got some other pieces to show us, Hans? Because somebody's asking also about how you work. Do you start with the stone or do you start with the design?
So there's two ways of doing it. I will not destroy a stone that is already beautiful and in its core, you know, has already a shape given by the stone setter or by stone carver. So for example, that would be more about the center stone, and then you create around it. So that's a challenge, but I love that challenge.
Can you show us a piece that would show us an example of that?
So that would be, for example, this ring here.
Yeah.
Where I kind of had the stone. I changed the faceting of it because I liked it as a checkerboard, but the marquise was already there. And then basically I kind of created around the stone, the shapes. Right. But then you've got, you know, for example, like a ring like this one. Let's go back to the original one here, where literally the stones are cut to shape.
They're very much the other way around.
Yes. And I think, you know, it's depending on really how you want to use stone. I like to use stone as paint, you know, like a painter would use his colors, you know, paint it in and color it in. With a center stone, it's already there for you. You don't really need to kind of maybe enhance it sometimes. But it's two ways of working. What I do say I do on both is I don't leave it to chance. I like to control the design process so that when it comes to the making, you don't need to discover issues, and you know everything's already figured out.
Yeah, I mean your work looks very precise. Have we seen everything you brought in that bag?
I've got also some men's stuff, which I thought, you know, a beautiful star bangle or bracelet, and then here I've got one in solid, and this is one in. But again, you know, this comes back to the fact that I love quite masculine things as well. Obviously being a men's designer as well. And then here I've got the little star bangle.
Okay, so this is, yeah, we haven't spoken about this. This is sort of more maybe like your entry level, is that right?
That's right. I mean, so this collection here was created off the collection I'm wearing on my hand, which was a men's collection. It was called the Rising Star. And it was for Pecorin, who kind of lost his wealth from that first collection I talked about. And but he didn't lose his pedigree. He still wanted to woo the people around him and wear things. So I created the silver collection.
If you hold it up.
Silver collection with stars on leather. And then,
let's see the
and it was very popular. And then my female friends, they're like, why don't you do something for women too? So then I created this bracelet, which opens up. And this is using a black diamond as a center stone.
Wow, and what's the starting price of these?
So these are start at £800 going up.
Okay.
So much more kind of entry level, but it also shows my kind of development as an artist. I kind of started building up the collections. Here, this is a nice little kind of engagement ring I did for, similar to the lily pad ring, but this one here is very geometric. So using a
We can't really see it. Do you think you could put it on your finger, Thomas? Or
yeah.
okay, yeah. It seems
So
to focus better like that.
So this is again using a princess cut with diamond baguettes as shoulders.
So that's like a really different type of engagement ring, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is very similar in effect to my lily pad ring, which I'm gonna put here because it's still kind of twists, but it's more.
Can we see the lily pad from the side, Thomas, so that we can see the details of how you've like made the form around it, which is what makes it so special? Yes, difficult to focus.
Focus.
But you can see it's not a traditional folklore setting.
So from underneath, you can see it maybe better. You can see how it kind of twists.
And then the thorn shapes around the band.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's great.
So yeah, so that was and then again, maybe in the colored version, you can see it better.
Yeah. And this one is set, are those Savorites on the side?
Yeah, so this has Savorites, black diamonds on the shoulders here.
Yeah, we can see a bit better there. That's good. Oops, what happened there, Thomas? Did you knock the camera?
Nope.
I can just see your sofa.
I know, I'm just trying to figure out what I did.
Well,
there we go.
Talk to me in the meantime.
Hello.
Somebody said put your palm behind the ring, Thomas, and show it like that, somebody suggested. Oh, that was a clever idea. Thank you, Geeta. That's a good idea, yeah, against skin. Yeah, then you can see the shape better. Wow. Thanks for that tip, Geeta.
Yeah,
learning on the job.
So this is the white one, and we also do those in different stones. I mean, at the moment, I have a request from someone who wants a ruby instead.
Right.
But I mean, I did one in sapphire. I did ones in emerald.
So yeah, but very bespoke. And Thomas, tell me about those rings that you're wearing there. I know they're called the cigar band rings, so I spoiled the surprise. But anyway.
So this one here is called the cigar band. So basically, back to my kind of original roots as a men's designer. The whole idea of this ring came about that I wanted to create a gift for men. So when you traditionally get married, get a baby as a man, your friends will give you a cigar. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, that's great for the first hour, and then the cigar is gone. So why not put the cigar band back on the ring? So when you give them a cigar, you've got the metal version of the band which wraps around the cigar, and then that you can keep as a forever.
Okay, Thomas, can you show that towards your left, higher up, because someone's saying the text is covering it, the cigar band.
Cigar band. So there you go. So this is a.
Is that better? Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
And you can see little details of the kind of what you would have on a wrapper underneath it as well.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Mm-hmm. And tell us about because I mean, we've talked about the range of your work from abstract to figurative, men, women, and also you work with leather quite a lot. We saw the Chesterfield, but you've got something which is really quite different as well. And I think you're wearing some.
Yeah, so here, for example, I'll take this one off now.
Oh, sorry, the text is covering so much. Sorry, guys. Yeah, if you can hold them as high up as possible, that's it.
So here you've got what I call my everyday diamonds. So you've got, this is one bracelet here. This is another bracelet. This is a third one. And those are all diamonds. So brown diamonds, black diamonds. And the beauty of these is it has a little kind of magnetic clasp on the back. So you just pull and it pops open. And then when you want to find them, they will catch back to themselves.
Yeah, as Hannah Martin has just said, very clever.
Hi, Maha.
Oops. Now he's frozen.
And then here, this is your classic one. So that's what I started. And you know why I started doing them? Because I've got such skinny wrists that I really wanted to cover them up with something. So I did.
Stop talking about being skinny.
No, skinny wrist, not about being skinny, but And basically, originally when I did this had a 14 wrap. At the moment, this is already 5. So imagine how big they were originally.
Right.
But you know, this is how you kind of take a product and you kind of master it, and you know, streamline it, make it better, and you know, develop it. The leather is also far better now because it's doubled. So originally, when I was buying the leather, I was using leather which is not backed, and now this is reinforced inside, edged on both sides. So basically, when you wear it, it's waterproof. I even went swimming with them. I would say don't do it, but you know, it will has resilience.
Great.
Which,
I mean, you've got some real fans here all saying they love your work and asking lots of questions. So yeah, I think people are interested in what you're doing, Thomas, and in the variety of your work. So I think we sort of covered quite a range of what you do. So maybe just for the last few questions, is how are you dealing with the current situation, and how has it changed your business?
So at the moment, I'm actually using this time for something which I love, and I didn't do enough, and that's literally spending time drawing and really kind of mastering my
Just
drawing.
hold that up again. Hi, Thomas. Yeah. Sorry, the text is covering everything. A bit higher up. That's it. Lovely. Can everyone see that now? Yeah.
So I'm really kind of I took a course also in some sketching, so I'm really kind of thought, well, why not become much better at drawing, because I love that process as much as I like doing jewelry. The other thing I'm working on is we're gonna launch a new men's leather range.
Okay.
So there's plenty of work still to be done. So from the clasps to the necklaces and so on. So hopefully that will be ready very soon. And all this can be done here anyway. Mm-hmm. So it's not really relying on you know, maybe outsourcing it. So actually, I've got a lot on, and trying to be really positive about it. I mean, I can't complain. The weather's good.
Yeah, you know, I know. We're lucky. Look at the sun coming in. There's a lady called Richa. I can't see her full name, but she wants to know, what is your favorite stone? Terrible question.
That is
a great question, but tough.
I mean, I've been asked that question many times, and I think my answer always changes because my taste changes. So I most probably tanzanite and colored diamonds.
Okay. Did you get that tanzanite and colored diamonds? Okay.
So the two, but then when I think about it, emeralds. Who doesn't love emeralds? I mean, they're so amazing. I mean, and I also think with emeralds, they look great on men and women. So, you know, imagine an emerald covered with black diamonds on black rhodium. I mean, that is sexy. That, you know, that's sex on legs. I think, you know, you can't say no to that. So I think I can't say there's one stone really. I really have a passion for different stones. I mean, and recently I discovered this amazing stone which I'm using, which is the gray spinel, which is actually, if you look at an untreated tanzanite, they look very similar to a gray spinel.
Yeah, because tanzanite doesn't come out of the ground in the color we
normally associate with. So they're kind of gray, but because tanzanite has naturally a lot of luster, I think those two together look great. You know, ashes, and you know what I love is mixing different colors together. So you know, imagine a gray spinel with a black spinel, with a hematite, with maybe a howlite, and maybe an accent of white diamond, and that together really kind of plays around with the opacities and the kind of transparencies of the stones.
I can see you're on fire.
Yeah, I love it.
So somebody's asked about how you cut your stones. You don't cut them yourself, do you? But they have to be specifically cut. I would imagine quite precision cut. Yeah,
I mean, there is a lot of suppliers here also in the UK I use. But, you know, every time I go to a trade fair, and because we do trade fairs, I meet people along the way. Some of them come to me with their bags of stones, and they show me what they have. So you know, my kind of database of suppliers around the world is quite big now. So there is no one specific person I go to. It really depends on what I'm looking for. Okay. And you know what I find fascinating is Instagram. A lot of suppliers nowadays post videos of the stones they have, and you can DM them and really kind of get hold of amazing stones which you would never find because sometimes it's sitting in a drawer somewhere. Wow. You know, in someone's you know, warehouse. So, you know, if you trust the person and you could figure out whether they're trustable, you can get amazing deals.
Wow. Thomas, one last thing before we go, because we've done over a half hour. Can you show us one more piece of jewelry, even if it's one you've shown us before, just
Okay,
as a
so
final treat? Or does anybody have any request of one they'd like to see again?
I didn't show you the green one here. That's the bangle.
Yeah, okay, lovely.
I'll put my hand behind it.
Yeah, good tip. Thank you for that, Geeta. That was a really good tip.
And again, this is with emeralds and
Yeah, and
savorites.
high up into the left corner. Sorry if it's really awkward. Yeah, a bit further down. Yeah, and your hand behind it. Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
a mastery of hands and camera.
I know, puppetry.
Puppet, that's the one. That's the one. And then here to get that's with the green, the blue, and the white stuff you see. That's howlite.
Howlite, and another unusual stone, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, again, it's an agate. Maybe seen untrendy, but actually, when you look closely to it, you know, at it, it has amazing colors because it's like marble.
It's got veins through it, hasn't it? Yeah.
You know, it has the wave going through, and that really, actually, if I could like wrap up with one thing, the reason I love those stones is because they look real. Because
Okay, cool. Can you show us something while you're talking, Thomas? Just
because you can't recreate that kind of vein running through howlite naturally. You know, if you were to buy it man-made, it would be too uniform. And I think that's what I love about emeralds as well, because emeralds have naturally some kind of inclusions. And I had a client once asking me, how do I rate an emerald? And I said, listen, you want to make sure there's some inclusion in it, because then you know you're buying something which is authentic.
Yeah.
If it's too clear, unless you know your source, be careful. And you know, this is a gentleman who had no clue about emeralds. So those are, you know, listen, don't quote on me, but those are the ways I do it. You know,
okay.
I make
Well,
sure
a very personal way. I'm just wondering, does anybody else have any more questions they'd like to ask while Thomas shows us one more piece, even if we've seen it before, because some people joined us later. So, let's see, a nice big, stunning, yeah, that. I have to say, I love that. I love that, yeah. Beautiful. So, emeralds and the sapphires.
Again, sapphires, emeralds. Again, those emeralds on the side, they have imperfections, but again, that is what I think gives them the beauty. There's, you know, imperfection is the new perfection in my eyes. So, and I think that's with natural stones. That's the case, you know.
Yeah.
Why try to look for the perfection, whereas the imperfection actually sets them apart? You will know that there will be no other stone like that.
Okay, somebody's asked you the jewel box. Where did you study, Thomas?
So I went to the Royal College of Art, where I did my master's. And before that, I went to St. Martin's, Central St. Martin's, where I did my foundation course and my BA course. So I had great teachers like Sean Evans, Simon Fraser, Liz Oliver, Giles. Back then was my technician, Giles Last.
Yeah, you got a real golden era, didn't you?
And then in the RCA, my professor was David Watkins, who always said to me, Thomas, I love what you do. I don't understand it, but it's great.
I think that is a very good note to end on. So just to let everyone know that the next guest we're going to have is actually a contemporary of yours, isn't she? Hannah Martin.
Hannah. Yes, Hannah. Good luck. I saw recently she posted she's doing a lot of things with artists, I think musicians. So I'll be very eager to hear her spin-off on this kind of world of jewelry.
Yeah, well, she's coming on Wednesday the 29th, same time, 3:30 London time. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining us. And thank you, Thomas. That was a real treat to be with you.
Very much.
See you at work. Fantastic.
Keep safe. Enjoy the weather. And we'll see each other on the other side.
Exactly. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Maria.
Bye. Bye. Thank you. Bye.